China's economy is going through a tough time. There's a big problem with houses. Not many people have jobs. Investors are feeling unsure. And there are other issues too. China used to be a real success story in growing its economy, helping lots of people. But recently, things haven't been going well. Even though China was doing great after joining the world economy in 1978, now it's facing some problems. Instead of getting better after changing its policy in 2022, China's economy is having a hard time. China's economy didn't grow as much as people hoped in the last few months. It's like expecting a score of 6 in a game, but only getting a 3. Meanwhile, in another country like America, they might be doing better with a score close to 6. People aren't buying houses as much because they're worried and the prices are going down. People also aren't spending money or investing in businesses as they used to. While many countries are dealing with prices going up too much, inflation, China is facing the opposite issue. Prices are going down. Some experts are even worried that China might end up in a situation like Japan did in the 1990s, where things didn't improve for a while. China is having some problems with its money, and it's making the whole world a bit worried. Why? Well, China's money troubles are like big waves that can affect how all countries do business together. China owes a lot of money, and people there aren't buying as much stuff. This is not just China's problem. It's like a puzzle piece that fits into the whole world's trading picture. So if China doesn't get better, it might mess up how all countries trade with each other. China, which is the second biggest economy in the world, is facing some big challenges. This means that people all around the globe are starting to worry. But why? Well, China is like a really important player in the world's team. It does a lot of trading with other countries, and it makes a ton of stuff that everyone uses. In fact, it's so good at making things that people call it the world's manufacturing hub. So if China is not doing well, it can affect how everyone else plays in the global economic game. Lots of big companies like Tesla and Apple get their stuff from China. Think of China as a huge factory that makes things for the whole world. It's like the boss of making stuff and sending it to other countries. China also uses a lot of important materials, like metals, more than anyone else in the world. China uses about half of all the metal in the world. So if China's economy is not doing well, it can mess up how much metal the whole world needs. This is not good because the world is just starting to get better after some tough times caused by things like prices going up, conflicts between countries, and really bad weather. China is facing a big problem because it owes a lot of money, and not many people in other countries are buying things from them. To fix this, China needs its own people to buy more stuff and not save too much money. But it's hard because right now, the government is having a tough time getting people to spend more. The country is even dealing with something called deflation, which means prices are going down instead of up. Deflation is when everything becomes cheaper for a long time, opposite of when prices go up. In China, the money trouble is because they borrowed a lot of money to invest and buy and sell houses. They didn't focus enough on getting people in China to buy things. This is making their money situation not so good. Economists are saying that not many people in China are buying things, and this could really hurt their money situation. If families in China don't spend much money, it can make the country's money problems worse in the future. It's like a balance where people need to buy things as much as they invest in businesses, but right now, it's not balanced. If people in China aren't buying a lot, it means prices there will stay low. For folks in the West, this could be good news because it might help stop prices from going up too much. That's a relief for people and businesses dealing with high prices. But in the long run, there could be problems for folks in other parts of the world. China has been spending a ton of money on big projects in many countries, like building roads and bridges. If China's money troubles continue, they might not be able to help as much with these projects. That means less money for cool stuff in other countries. Let's talk about the past. Before 1949, China's government, called the Republic of China, or ROC, borrowed a lot of gold from people and other countries. They promised to pay it back with money they collected from taxes. This gold helped build important things and run the government. Simply put, the China we have today wouldn't be the same without these borrowed gold deals. Let's go back to 1938, when China was fighting with Japan. At that time, China couldn't pay back the money it owed to people. After the communists won the war, the old government moved to Taiwan. The rest of the world then agreed that the new government in mainland China, led by the Chinese Communist Party, would be in charge of paying back the old debt. Some people in the US own a lot of old bonds from China that are worth a ton of money. There's a group called the American Bondholders Foundation, ABF, that takes care of these bonds for about 20,000 people. These bonds are worth over $1 trillion. A while ago, the leader leader of the UK, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, made a deal with China about similar bonds. She told China that if they wanted to use the UK's money markets, they had to pay back the old debts to British people. China agreed because they really wanted to access the UK's money market. It's like making a deal to get something you want. China borrowed a lot of money in the past few years, and it's a big part of the world's total debt.